Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. If you need a laugh, Shawn Chidiac is your man. He goes by the moniker My Parents Are Divorced Online. He's the guy behind those unbelievably accurate impression skits. He's taking the stage at Dubai Opera on May 2. He's already sold out, but here to tell us about the show and probably give you FOMO if you don't have tickets. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Sold out. Congratulations.
Yes. Also, I did not expect those lights to just...
But did you expect the show to sell out?
No. Honestly, alhamdulillah, it sold out, but I was like, okay, call Lovin Dubai, call this. I was trying to get everything to get the promotion going. And then I had this master plan of okay, I'll block these middle seats so these seats will be available, because I realized that for other comedians that I opened up for, they had some strategy that they did. And then the guys from the opera were like, look, just let it fly for 2-3 days and then we'll discuss blocking out seats. And then by the third day we sold 80%, and then I had work in Abu Dhabi, came back, that was the 5th day and it was sold out, and I was like,
wow.
Okay.
How great.
A little imposter syndrome. It feels a little bit surreal, but also I'm like, oh my god, am I actually funny? What am I gonna do?
No, but you've been doing shows on the circuit for a long time. You've got 600, 700,000 followers on Instagram alone. What's the seat strategy? I've never heard of that before.
So the idea was that most people want to buy the good tickets, right? The the front and center,
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, if I block those out and leave the wings open, people will first buy the wings so that you don't have those awkward empty seats. That was my idea. But then by the third day, the whole middle got full, and I was like, well, that's out the door now. We can't do anything about it. And then next thing I knew, when my team was like, oh, we sold out. And I'm a bit so I looked and I was like, there's peppered tickets here and there, those solo seats. Between every row, there was at least 3 or 4.
Always.
So I counted 50 seats. So I was like, we're not sold out. They're like, it's 1,882. There are 30, 40, 50 seats left. It's sold out. I was like, it's sold out when it says sold out. And then, alhamdulillah, luckily we got to break it on the 5th day.
How do you sell out the peppered seats, right? Because they don't solo.
I have no idea. In my eyes, I was like, I'm gonna compile them, close off the tickets, and then do them as giveaways. But that was my idea. But then the day after, those got sold out. So, because I didn't think people want to come watch comedy alone in a theater. I get in a lounge or a restaurant or a bar or a club, it's normal because it's among 100 to 200 seats. But if you're in a theater and you go alone, which thank you, I'm not. Thank you very much. But yeah, so I'm still surprised, honestly.
Can be a bit
feels very surreal.
Yeah. Interesting.
So what can audience expect from this show?
So my comedy is very focused around crowd work, because I think the funnest thing to see in comedy is watch it come to life, And because I do different impersonations, different accents, everyone's from a different place, right? So you get to riff off that for a while. So there will be a big chunk of crowd work. But the majority of my comedy is split between crowd work and storytelling. And my storytelling involves the accents because they have to, I have this story about when I go to the hospital, and just on the way to the hospital, the paramedics, he was Filipino. When I got there was an Indian nurse, the doctor was Egyptian, the consultant was Sudanese. There's already 5-6 different nationalities before you're getting treated. So there's a lot of storytelling that comes to it. And there's a few, fabricated stories that I create. I say, this is my assumption, or this is what I would assume something looks like. So it's a mixture of all those things.
What's interesting is when you said the strategy for people buying tickets for comedy shows that they want to be at the front. I wouldn't. I'd want to be, because I don't want to be called out. I want to be
You'd be
far
surprised
away.
though. People some people I have. So when I do these smaller, so I have a company called Comedy Kitchen, which does an open mic night every week of the month, English, and we basically run it where it's the front row are called the splash zone. Those are the most expensive tickets, and those sell out the first. And it's not super expensive. It's 120, for example, but compared to an 80 dirham ticket. Those aren't the prices, but just for example. And people fill up those seats first. And then they sit there and then don't pick on me, don't pick on me. Why would you sit there though? It's called and I always used to say the splash zone is when you go to a water park, they say this is the splash. I'm this is where you get splashed.
You're getting hit.
So don't get those seats unless you want to. So it's pretty funny, but you'd think that no one wants to be picked on, but everyone deep down wants a little bit of, everyone wants a little bit.
So you're performing live, of course. How does it feel different from performing live and creating skits online?
Oh my God. You're okay, imagine you're doing comedy and you post a video, that's it. You can hide away from the world. But if you tell me a joke right now and I'm like this.
Oh.
it's very uncomfortable.
I'd say
It's
so.
very uncomfortable. And like also, you never know, like in your head, like let's say if you're not doing crowd work or something and you've written a joke and you've written it, you've tested it out, you've practiced it, then you go and present it because you're like, this is a fantastic idea, right? Everyone's gonna laugh. And then you say the joke and no one's laughing. It's an immediate reality check of like, you're not that funny.
Oh no.
And you get on stage and depending on your audience, let's say if you have a room of like 500 people, that's 1,000 eyeballs, you know?
Yeah.
That's 1,000 eyes on you, you know? I mean, minus if
God,
someone
you've
has,
really
like,
thought about that.
yes, and then everyone has "make me laugh" written on their forehead, you know. So it's very
High
intense, but that's what I love about it. It's an immediate check of your ability, as well as you see someone release their like. Everyone comes tense, you know. A lot of people come to the shows tense, when especially we do midweek shows. Like we had a show on Wednesday that we would do, which was a kind of like an improv night, and you'd see people who like walk in, they just finished work, you know, they're like they just drove through traffic. There's tension. But then you make them laugh, and you can, I swear to God, you can see their like their whole posture change, their face cracks, like especially like I don't know what it is about the Arab women in shows, but they sit like this every single time, and then I'm like, why are you angry? They're like, I'm not angry.
I feel
I'm
called
I'm so
out."
happy. I'm like, then tell your face. So I don't know
sit
why.
like this all the
I'm
time.
telling you, it's Arabic.
Yeah, same. I'm like, this is how I interview people.
So
how
they
I
sit
do
like
it.
this, like angry, like they look at you like dead in the eye, like, and I'm like, why are you upset? They're like, no, I'm so very happy.
Guilty.
So there's so much happening at the same time. So it's a different world. You can't compare it, honestly.
But when we're chatting now, you seem to have, and as you should, an innate sense of confidence in what you do, which is amazing. Was it always that way?
Absolutely not. It's still not that way now. Fake it till you make it. You know? And also, there's something I tend to avoid doing on stage, which is pointing, because, and it's not because, oh, don't be rude to point. It's because when you put your hand out, like people can notice if your hands are shaking, and especially because the spotlight, you're literally, imagine like all these, it's same scenario, and there's like 1,000 people. And if you move your finger and you hold it for too long, people can see you shake. So I get nervous all the time, like super nervous. And like in fact, the day before a show and the day of a show, like no one wants to speak to me because I'm in such a like a irritable mood, and I just like I'm like, don't talk to me, let me hide. So I can release like all that energy on stage.
I was the same. I was such a shaker. Like we go on shoots and things, and my hand, even now probably, but like my hands would be like this. And I'm like, don't show it. And then people are like, your hands are shaky. I'm like, oh,
Don't say that. You don't have
The
to.
worst is when they say it. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
And the worst is when you're like you catch your chin like wobble a little bit, or you get so. And the opera show is going to be the largest show that I've done on my own. Like I've the time before, was it last year January? I came here to promote the Omid Jalili show like ages ago, and I opened for him, and that was like 1,500 people. But that wasn't my show, and that was in the World Trade Center, which is like massive, you know, huge ceiling.
Yeah.
It's a conference hall. This is like very intimate, right? The whole thing is shaped around you. It's almost 2,000 seats. So this is like the biggest one for sure in the last like couple of years. And I started doing like comedy in like dingy bars, like in Dubai, like in 2017, literally. So it's a funny like transition. But
Bravo.
Yeah. Can I ask? We want to play a little game called First, but before we get there, we live in Dubai, which is
what? I thought this was Lovin Sharjah. Goodbye.
We live in this nice city, and
Yes.
what's unique about it is the diverse mix of nationalities. And I wonder, do you think there's obviously a lot of your comedy is based on impressions of nationalities, part of it?
90%.
90%. Do you think there's like a bit of a faith attached there, or what do you think your comedy would be if you didn't live here?
Oh yeah, my comedy would be very like westernized, you know, because right now it's very people relate to it more in this region, and people from the west side of the world appreciate the talent of an accent, but they don't like go like I don't. No one really gets the cafeteria man or if I go like Assalamu alaikum. They're just like, what is he just saying peace people? Like they don't get it, but they appreciate the style of joke. So I have enough material that is more, let's say like Western friendly, but yeah, without the accents, I would feel like I'm losing a part of myself because I lose the ability to bring you into my story. You know, if I tell you about this hospital story and you come, like I'm telling you the story, the visions that I give you, you're there with me. You know, and the accents make you feel like, yeah, that I know a doctor like that. You know, so without that, I feel like I lose a part of myself. But I still have enough comedy style like that I've watched from like the greats like Chappelle, Bernie Mac, Russell Peters. So like I picked up a lot of that, and so I still have that. And I did a crowd work special actually where I barely did any accents. The crowd work special is basically an hour and a half of you just talking to the audience, which considering uploading soon. I just need to remove some unhalal bits, clean it for the internet, and then
Where
I'll go
was
live.
that?
It was at the Nice Guy. So every Valentine's and every like 2 weeks after that, I do a show. So I have a Valentine's show called Valentine's Vendetta. I started it 2 years ago, and so there's like 1, 2, 3, and 4, because we did 2 shows this year. And then I also do a crowd work special every like couple of months, because it's fun, because you don't have to prepare, and you stay on as long as people let you stay on, because they're giving you information. You know, so if everyone's like reserved, they're like, all right, cool, you guys don't want it, we're out. But everyone loosens up, and everyone starts like, you would not believe the things people have said on stage, like in front of people, because I bring people on stage as well.
Go on.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Oh, I can't. Do you want to cancel the show?
This is the thing with lives. Should we play first?
Yes, let's do it first.
Let's do it.
Oh.
Okay. First job ever.
Ooh, actually, I can't really say it. I was working at an age where you're not really supposed to be working.
Child labor or something?
Pretty much child labor. But okay,
You
I will
can
say.
describe the task.
Yeah.
So we
I
can
will
let you
say-
know if you were being done over.
No, I will say the first job I had was I gave it to myself, and I would buy jawbreakers, like mini jawbreakers. They came in packs of 4s from Ibn Battuta, like back in the day, like because no one really used to live there. Like I was in Gardens Building 1, like early days. I used to buy them for a dirham 25 fils, and I used to sell them in my school for 5 dirhams.
Scammer.
And then I got suspended. No, it's business. I have to pay for my transport, you know. But that was my first
You
job.
got suspended?
Wow.
Yeah, I got suspended. And they called my mom. They're like, "Your son is selling." My mom's like, "Drugs?" And she's like, "They're like, no, candy." She's like, "I have more important things than my son selling candy." But my first official licensed job was working at a restaurant. I was helping like the wait staff, and also behind the kitchen sometimes. I like to chop up the vegetables. And then I think that was when I was on the Mohra app, you know, the Ministry of Health, Human Resources. That's that's what I was there.
First official.
First official.
So were you
job.
cutting the cucumber like this or like this?
Backwards like this?
Kendall Jenner vibes.
Yeah.
First paycheck. How much was it?
200 dirhams. Yeah. It was I wouldn't say modeling, but it was like a job that you had to just sit and pretend like you were reading a book. It was for like the Ministry of Education thing, like a really old campaign. And
Nice.
yeah, and then they paid me 200 for 9 hours.
What
Yeah.
age were you?
I was 18.
Do you still have the photos?
No, but they should be somewhere online for sure. But it's really weird. I'm wearing like a fedora and like a light. Who wears fedoras? But a light blue like button up and jeans and like white shoes. It's like horrible, and it was really awkward because I remember the girl that they had got to, like I was supposed to talk to. They're like, "Oh, we can't hear anything, so just talk," you know. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was so nervous. And her friend were practicing for an English test, and they were like asking each other like definition of onomatopoeia, and so I was like. Definition of onomatopoeia. She's like, I don't know. And it was so awkward. They're like, guys, what are you talking about? I was like, I'm quizzing her. They're like, why? I'm like, because I'm nervous. And I'm like dripping sweat. It was really uncomfortable. And then like after that, they asked me to stay back because my hands weren't casting shadows. So they're like, oh, we have another commercial, but we just need to pour like tea in a pot next to you, and you just put your hands on the table. And I was like, okay. They're like, it's an extra 150. And at the time, I was like, any money is good money. So that's why I ended up staying 9 hours. It was horrible.
Teenage angst. It passes, by the way.
But I don't have any memorabilia of that. I do have the first money I ever made from comedy, which was 2017, and I made 100 dirhams for winning a comedy competition. And it was my first night doing comedy. So that I have saved.
Amazing.
That I have like in a little box in my room. That's the only thing I have saved, yeah. The rest was all like under the table. The first paycheck I got was the 200. Other than that, the rest I was just like, hey, there's some tips for tonight. Just
Yeah, we all had those jobs.
Yeah.
Not here.
It's nice to look back at them though.
It is.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know why I just admitted this on live. I'm legal now, you know.
Relatable. Okay. First person who truly believed in you.
Both believed in me and didn't believe in me, my mom. She was very much like, she supported the idea of comedy since I was a kid. But she was always like, you can do it on the side, but you have to be doctor, lawyer, engineer, you know. And I remember like, I used to get called into the office so often that my mom was like, they all tell me you need to be a lawyer from how much you yap all the time. And then I remember eventually I actually did want to go into law. Then I met a lawyer and I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. And she's like, no, Habibi, you can do law and be comedian on the side, okay? I was like, who's going to take me seriously in any of those realms?
I won't get clients.
So I was like, imagine like this is my law attorney. He's like, he's also a comedian. So she believed in me, but also like was like, get a real job in the meantime. But she always like encouraged me to keep going forward.
So the flag was like here.
Yeah, it was both a red and a green flag like at all times. But yeah, bless her.
First celebrity crush.
Oof, I think Jennifer Aniston. I think. Oh, that's a lie. Salma Hayek. Salma Hayek.
Why or where? And what movie?
Salma
do you
Hayek. There's a
think?
movie called Desperado. Old movie. It's with Antonio Banderas.
Sounds familiar.
And it's basically like he's this like desperado, you know. He's like this cool like I don't know. I can't explain it, but there was this scene where she's like she runs like this bookstore coffee shop thing, and she just had like this like big puffy curly hair. You know the '90s look. And she I don't know. I still like woo okay. But yeah, Salma Hayek was like my first ever crush. That I can remember, and then Jennifer Aniston because of Friends. But yeah, Salma Hayek for sure.
Salma Hayek has
Alright.
like, isn't she married to the LVMH like
Google.
I think
CEO
so.
Bernard? Like and she's been in some amazing kind of lesser famous shows recently. But she's just a boss. Like she's
Yeah,
always
no,
a boss.
but
She's
she's
so
also
cool.
like a great person as well. Like I mean, not that I know her. She might be a horrible person, but I've heard great things about her from people who have met her, from people who've worked with her. They all say she's very sweet, and she's always taken time to like meet people as big as she's become.
Good taste from an early age.
Yes,
Probably.
yes.
Yeah.
First ever weird DM you got.
We can't say that one. I'm telling you, like that one. I'll just give you the outline of it.
Right.
It was a picture of something that you don't want to be receiving, especially as a guy. Let's just say. I'm not gonna say anything, but
Would you get a lot of weird DMs?
a lot of weird DMs. I stopped checking. I very vaguely run through like quick ones just to see like work stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, I leave it to my manager. I'm like, hey, just
Check the DM.
just check if there's anything there.
What a shame.
Yeah, because I mean, I do check once in a while just to see, like, because some people send some really, like, a lot of people have sent me some heartfelt messages, like, a lot of people who have gone through, like, there's someone who went through, like, a chemo treatment, they're like, yo, when I get my chemo, I just look at your videos, and that
that's so
really
cute.
changes, like, your perspective on yourself, because at some point I go, like,
motivating.
what am I doing here? You know, I'm making haha videos, there's this weird thing that gets into your mind all the time. And then you see someone who says, like, you've made a difference. Even if you don't believe in yourself, if someone has that, like, you've been affecting someone in a positive way, you need to at least honor that relationship that you've created with them. So once in a while I do check, but it gets weird. It gets weird. For every one of those, there's 1,000 weird pictures, let's just say.
Interesting. Can you remember your first, I wouldn't say social media post that went viral? What was the first biggie?
Oh, first one that went viral was actually, the timelines didn't match up. I went to Egypt for work a long time ago. And I went to the Museum of Natural, no, the old History Museum of Egypt before they moved all the stuff to the new one. And they had like, honestly, a lot was missing. So they had just one case of like slippers.
Can we guess where it was?
It was in Egypt. So there was all these like slippers, and like I just made a joke of basically like how Egyptian mazars, they will hit you from beginning time. Like 3,000 years ago, is this one hitting you same. So I made that video, and like a year and a half had passed. The video got like no views.
Yeah.
Like when I say no views, I mean literally like 1,000, 2,000 views. And then a year and a half later, somehow it just blew up and it hit like 1 million. And at the time, 1 million was like, it's still 1 million.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
still a-
ridiculous. And then I had a video that really like skyrocketed the account. I had a company event, and there was like a team of HR, like they were all sitting next to each other. And I just told my friend like, hey, like record me. I'm just gonna make up something. And I was like, why are you depressed? She's like, because I'm sad. And I'm like, then I say something about like what's the opposite of depression? Happiness. Okay, spell happiness. She goes, H-A. I'm like, stop there. Say that again. She goes, H-A. I'm like, now say it many times. She goes, ha, 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 ha. And she starts laughing. And everyone starts laughing. And I'm like, follow me for more doctor tips. I was Iranian for some reason. So that I made up on the spot. And then that really like blew up the page. And then it was just kind of, there were like 2 more videos. And then it kind of sustained like a decent amount. Yeah.
Better than decent, let's say.
So, first time you got your heart broken.
Oh, too many times. Actually, I broke my own heart. When I found that Salma Hayek was married, I was like, why, God? I think first time I actually got my heart broken, I think I was in 9th grade, and I had this huge crush on this girl, and I waited all year to tell her. And at her farewell party, she was like moving back to Sweden. And I told her, like, I was like, hey, I like you. I know nothing can happen. Like, she was like, I was like really fat. I had like a mohawk. I was like, I can't get a girl like that. So I told her, and she's like, oh, I wish you told me, we could have like dated. And I was like, oh. And then she left the country. And I didn't see her for like 8 years after. And we're good friends now. Like but it's really funny. Like I waited the entire year to tell her, and I told her at like literally her farewell party. And then that was the first moment I realized like you have to ask for what you want in life.
Yeah.
I learned the lesson, didn't do anything about it.
I was gonna be like,
Never
never
wait.
inspire you to
Literally
change?
didn't date again, like until like I went to uni. So
I feel like
Yeah,
if we've
never
put
wait.
you on the spot with our heartbreak stories, maybe we should share one as well. But I can't.
I'm not going to share one.
I feel like women heartbreak stories are always worse than guys. So
I'm not sharing
I
mine.
understand if you don't want to share.
Well, I think
I
I'm just.
continue.
I don't think I've got like a specific, but it would be like, you know, when you're really young and you always have these crushes, but you just never do anything about it, and then nothing ever happens. So like 3 years later, you still have a crush on someone and nothing's happened. How sad.
How sad, yeah.
Well, I think that's less sad than telling someone you like them, and then they're like, we could have dated, but now I'm out, you know?
You've got a life lesson from that.
Yeah,
yeah.
like never wait.
Yeah.
Never
yeah.
wait. While you're here,
Yes.
we can't let you leave
Without.
without some impression.
I figured.
So, guys, if you want the best, most accurate, relatable impressions in Dubai, check out My Parents Are Divorced. But we're actually going to do some right here on the show. We're actually going to put you completely on the spot.
Fantastic.
We'll name some scenarios, some types of people, and then you just go.
Is one of them a call center?
No.
Okay.
Okay, I'll start the first one. Okay, a Lebanese guy at the beach club.
Oh my God. Okay, what's the scenario? Just hake bro is just chilling?
Trying to pick up a girl.
Oh, okay,
Trying.
okay. Wait, it makes more sense in Arabic. I'm going to say it in English so you can understand. Your father is a thief. Bayik harami. He stole the stars and put them in your eyes. No?
Didn't work.
Okay. It's your fault. You know how many women want me? I feel like that's the first thing.
That's how you know how many women want me. That's so accurate, by the way.
It's like you try to hit on them. It's like the father, you know, he put the star, and you're like, ew, and he's like, you know how many women want me, and I came here, and you're wasting my. You know who I am?
You know what?
Who are you?
And his dad is like so basic.
And he's like, I don't know. I haven't found myself yet.
Oh my gosh, takes me back. An Egyptian dad who doesn't like what his daughter's wearing.
Okay, who's my daughter? Or am I just? Is this
This-
this is my daughter?
This camera.
This is your daughter.
Does anyone have glasses? No. It's
Oh,
fine,
no.
It's fine. Let's pretend like. إيه ده. You want to go out like that? Or you know how many people outside? You know what? You know what I saw on the news today? What happened? Exactly. Cover your ankles.
Not the ankles.
Your left toe is showing.
We have pages on Love in Cairo and Love in Beirut. We'll have to post these videos.
Yeah, we really do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last one.
Hopefully you can get it right.
Okay.
The Lovin Dubai hosts.
The Lovin Dubai hosts.
Who have just reported on an incident, but they've realized it's inaccurate.
Okay. Am I?
And the show has just ended.
Okay.
And they've realized that their breaking news story is inaccurate.
Okay. Am I doing a specific accent or just like the monologue of what I think it sounds like?
Monologue of what you think it sounds like.
Okay. Right, thank you so much for tuning in to Lovin Dubai. Absolutely loving, heartbreaking stories, loving stories, and a horrible crash on Sheikh Zayed Road. No crash on Sheikh Al Khail. No, it's in Saudi. Oman. No crash has been reported today, but we do have heartbreak. Okay, we're just finding out they died. Right. Thank you, guys. See you next week in Lovin Dubai.
Oh no, that was too perfect.
Oh, that was too good.
People are gonna love you for that.
Thanks.
And I'll just cry in my sleep. That was Shawn Chidiac, My Parents Are Divorced. The show is sold out, but I'm sure you can catch him on his profiles
Yes.
and other
And
places.
if interested in my merch, if I
Oh,
can
show us the
quick
merch.
shameless plug. Assalamu alaikum, you want this cash card? Anyway.
Let's just do a quick rundown.
Oh
of the
yes,
merch.
yes. So I don't know what you can see. Oh,
Yeah,
so
we
that's
can
my
see it.
faces, and I have the joke. I'm trying to look huge, and I have the joke of like, "Assalamu alaikum, you want what you want tea, coffee, madam?" And then they ask cash card. You know, it's never cash or card. It's cash card. So, and then I put a logo, but then I was gonna get sued, so we just changed it. And MPAD means My Parents Are Divorced.
Oh, were you
Yes.
going to get to, is that a banking logo?
Yeah.
It was.
It's giving banking.
Yes, yes, that was the idea. But yes, thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to be back.
It was really nice having you on.
Thank you, guys.
It was great having you back, watching the journey. Best of luck in the show.
Thank you so much.
And more to come. Thank you, Masa.
Thank you, Casey.
And that brings us to the end of the Lovin Dubai show. We're back with you tomorrow morning, I think. Yes, it's Friday, same time, same place. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.